Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I have a really great heavy album for you. It's by the current Queensrÿche vocalist Todd LaTorre, and the name of the album is Rejoice in the Suffering. So before I start, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I upload every day. I do new releases, rankings, I do rock and metal and all sorts of stuff. Please check the video description on ways to support this channel. I leave my Amazon affiliate links and things like that. So with that being said, let me get into it. So back in 2013, Queensrÿche and Geoff Tate basically went through a lot of problems. They got a new vocalist. His name was Todd LaTorre. And in that year, they recorded another self-titled album called Queensrÿche in 2013. So this is with Todd LaTorre. Also in the same year, Geoff Tate released another album called Frequency Unknown under the Queensrÿche name. But Todd LaTorre, a very versatile vocalist, but on the Queensrÿche albums, he kind of like does the Geoff Tate thing. He kind of sounds a lot like Geoff. So on those albums, he's been with them for 3 albums. It was the self-titled. There was also Condition Human in 2015. That's a really, great album, very classic in their catalog. And The Verdict in 2019. I mean, most Queensrÿche fans would say that their favorite albums are the first few Queensrÿche albums, like The Warning, Rage for Honor, Operation Mindcrime, Empire, and then also like the last 3, which I just mentioned with Todd. Queensrÿche did kind of go through a period in the middle of their career where their albums did kind of take a dip in quality. This album, it's not a Queensrÿche album. Just let me say that right off the bat. It's super heavy. Think of something like Judas Priest's Painkiller, that like heavy speed metal. Todd has a style similar to like Rob Halford, specifically on the Painkiller album. They're very heavy. He has that vocal range that Rob Halford has. Another band that this reminded me of is that like classic like early 80s heavy metal style, which is like not exactly thrash, but almost thrash. Something like Metal Church's The Dark. This album reminded me a little bit of that. Todd LaTorre did do a collaboration with Metal Church on one of their songs, Fake Healer. So here's the YouTube image, so you can look for that later. And this is really, like I said, it's a heavy album. There are elements of thrash and death. A couple songs that sound like Queensrÿche. I'll talk about them in a minute. So I'm not going to go through the entire album track by track. I'll just go over my top 5 favorite songs. So let me get into that. Okay, the first track is Dogmata. So this is the opening track, and you hear the opening riff, and you immediately know this is not a Queensrÿche album. It is super heavy. The riffs are crushing. He has a vocal style similar to Rob Halford in this song. Reminds me of something like from the Painkiller album, like I said before. Todd LaTorre shows off his incredible range on this, and the song has a killer breakdown at the 2-minute mark. The riffs are super heavy and definitely a great song. My next favorite song is Crossroads to Insanity. So this is a song, one of the songs that's closest to like a Queensrÿche song, very reminiscent of something off of Rage for Order, or The Warning from that era of Queensrÿche. And even the title of the song sounds like the Queensrÿche classic, like Roads to Madness. And it just has that feeling. It's heavy, it's atmospheric, but there's still like a little bit of an extra crunch in it. On this track, he has a vocal style similar to Geoff Tate. Really an awesome song, standout track on the album. And the guitar solo, it even gives you a metal feel. I really like this one. So the third track I want to talk about is Critical Cynic. So this starts off with a heavy, almost technical death metal riff. Almost reminds me of the band Gojira. I've even heard comparisons to the band Nevermore. Now it's a really heavy song, but the vocals, I mean, Todd still has his signature vocal style. The vocals are clean, throughout the entire album. And this is definitely a super heavy song, but very also has elements of classic heavy metal. So I really like this one too. Next is Vexed. So this song also sounds a little bit like a Queensrÿche song. The vocals, he kind of like does his Geoff Tate kind of impression on this one a little bit in the intro. but the song does take on its own identity as it progresses. The riff is reminiscent of a classic heavy metal song, so it's not really exactly like a Queensrÿche song, but the vocal style does sound a little bit like Jeff on this one, but it is also definitely a heavy song. And the last track I'm going to talk about is called Apology. Now the intro, it's a little slow, atmospheric, but it does take a turn, around the 1 minute mark. There's like a crushing, like a death doom riff. There's some like guttural vocals here. It's really super heavy song. The riffs, I mean, there's a lot of crunch. There's also a lot of like layers to the song. The guitar solo reminds me a little bit of like 80s heavy metal. There's some like thrash elements, and even sounds like a little jazzy at times. So this is the closing track on the album. All throughout the album, all the songs are heavy. There's really no filler. I think there are 10 songs, and there's like a bonus edition with 3 extra songs. So if you're interested in the bonus edition, you have like 2 options if you're looking to purchase. This is a really good album, solid, heavy, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. If you're a metal fan, you'll definitely like it. If you like Judas Priest, if you like the heavy stuff, he goes into thrash and death and things like that. So definitely a heavy album. So comment below, let me know what do you think of Todd LaTorre, if you've heard it already. So let me know your opinions on the album. And other than that, thanks for watching. I will be linking a couple other videos that you might like. They will be appearing like right next to me over here. And I will be back again. I have some new releases coming up. There's a new EP by Cult of Luna. I want to get that out either Monday or Tuesday. A couple more rankings. I'll get a Foo Fighters ranking going out then. A couple more things. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.